Yeah, I'm getting a video.
The clock is 5. Pass.
No! No!
Unreal.
What? How? Fuck me! What?
If you clicked on this video, you obviously have some interest in the sport of professional football. So let me ask you a question. What's your favorite football game? Is it a specific Super Bowl where you got to see your favorite team win it all in real time? Or as obscure as the Eagles-Bengals game from Week 3 of 1982? No matter what your favorite game is, each game is unique and different. Football is such a beautiful game. I don't want to go too much in depth with each rule and aspect of the game that I think is beautiful, but it's been a steady part of my life ever since I was younger. I didn't always love football, and I actually spent a majority of my adolescence avoiding it. My parents are super diehard Chargers fans, and that made me a Chargers fan regardless, if I truly cared for it or not. It wasn't until I was around 11 years old that things really began to change for me, and I started to realize that I was really interested in what football was, for myself and professionally as well. I watched the Broncos get their asses kicked by the Seahawks in Super Bowl 48.
It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning. A flag is down and the ball's out of the back of the end zone. It's a safety to start this game as Manning was...
Excuse me, IRS! You sent me a letter!
Wait, where am I? Wait, who are you?
And I think that's where my interest truly began. It was fun watching my friends in pain after talking trash, especially as a Chargers fan growing up in Colorado. So, haha, even though you won 2 years later. Anyways, it's hard for me to remember exactly when my love for football started. I know it happened after Super Bowl 48 and before Super Bowl 49, so I'm just going to say that it really started in the 2014 to 2015 season. Now, that season wasn't really special in terms of what the Chargers accomplished, going 9-7 and ultimately missing the playoffs. On the bright side, Phillip Rivers was still playing well as the quarterback of the team, and Brendan Oliver showed promise, one of my mom's all-time favorite players. Unfortunately, he didn't really play a role in any future plans the Chargers made after the season, kind of because he got, well, because this is my first season really becoming interested in football. I was watching it on and off, not sitting down and watching the red zone like I do every Sunday now. I was really only interested in what the Chargers mustered up every week, and when I tell you it's the same thing with them my whole life. Go watch one Chargers game, and that's probably enough. They're all like that. Literally, go watch Geno Smith kick our ass this year even. It's probably the perfect example of a Chargers game. Sorry, got a bit sidetracked. But I did see all the highlights and other stats scrolling through Instagram and whatever else. I saw the occasional primetime game as well, but honestly that season feels somewhat like a blur to me at this point. But I did get to see this live.
Play action. And Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Beckham one-handed catch. How in the world?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
It wasn't until the start of the playoffs where I really remember falling in love with the game of football. My love for watching the game professionally and my eventual dreams of becoming an NFL quarterback can be traced back to the beginning around this time. The 2014-15 playoffs were represented by 12 teams, 6 coming from each conference, the AFC and the NFC, if you didn't already know. The AFC consists of the Patriots, Broncos, Colts, Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals. The NFC consists of the Seahawks, Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Cardinals, and Panthers. All of these teams had over 10 wins, so each was deserving to at least be in the dance for the Lombardi. I think that's why each game was so interesting to me, as well as memorable on top of that, whether it was the no-catch Cowboys-Packers game, or the Seahawks' massive comeback against the Packers in the NFC Championship, or when the Patriots beat the Ravens by help of Julian Edelman throwing a touchdown to Danny Amendola. These players had unique and memorable moments that were building to what was hopefully going to be a really spectacular Super Bowl. Now, you know, I would mention Tom Brady and Deflategate. Yeah, that's not gonna be this video. Fortunately, we did get a good Super Bowl, and what I think is my favorite Super Bowl to this day, tied with Super Bowl 52, and I don't say this lightly, Super Bowl 49 is what I think truly made me fall in love with the game of football. So, get up, go grab a snack, maybe a cold refreshing drink, and go lay on your couch and get yourself ready to hear me ramble. I'm Drakey Berg, and this is Super Bowl 49, and why it's the perfect Super Bowl.
Need you to stay by, and that's for sure. You know the vibrations and everything, memories and everything. Talking about where you bring, folding in information.
Can I buy a box of Thin Mints?
Sure, I'll take 2 boxes.
How about 2 million?
No, 1 million.
Okay.
I want to take a pic.
So before we really get into the Super Bowl overall, I think we should talk about the 2014-15 season. Just kind of like a debrief, I guess. It was the 95th NFL season overall and the 49th of the Super Bowl era, of course. And it ended up looking like this. Which still had the Chargers in San Diego. Screw this LA stuff. And the playoffs look like this, with the teams I had already mentioned earlier in the introduction. The Super Bowl was decided to be played in Glendale, Arizona, in State Farm Stadium. I used to live near there. The playoffs would eventually lead to the AFC champion Patriots getting to the Super Bowl after going 12-4 in the regular season and beating the Ravens in the divisional round, and then the Colts in the AFC championship. The Seahawks would become the NFC champions after going 12-4 in the regular season as well, beating the Panthers in addition to the Packers in the NFC Championship. The Seahawks became the first defending champion to return to the Super Bowl since the 2004 Patriots, and Russell Wilson threw for 3,475 yards, 20 touchdowns, and about 7 interceptions to help them get there. Seattle had the first-ranked defense in the NFL with that. Tom Brady threw for 4,109 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, with the Patriots defense being 8th in the league. Some other things happened this season as well, like Adrian Peterson's incident, Ray Rice's incident, the first Open the Gate player Michael Sam getting drafted, and some other stuff too. But nothing is really as notable as the award winners, just like every season. Aaron Rodgers won MVP, DeMarco Murray was the Offensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt was the Defensive Player of the Year, Odell Beckham Jr. won the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Aaron Donald was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Damn. Super Bowl 56 champs for the both of them last year. Anyways, Bruce Arians was the Coach of the Year, and on another side note, I still love that the Broncos lost in the divisional round against the Colts. Anyways, it's time to talk about the game that 114.4 million people tuned in to watch. Let's get into it.
Sin City wasn't made for you.
Since Super Bowl 49 aired on NBC, Carrie Underwood performed a typical iconic Sunday Night Football song performance, introducing both the teams. After that concluded, we were introduced to Elsa herself, Idina Menzel, doing the national anthem. And might I say, it was pretty good. The game was about to go underway, and we were given a glance at both sidelines. We got to see Marshawn chewing on some Skittles, a bearded Russell Wilson, and the Legion of Boom ready to play on the Seattle sideline. We also got to see the Patriots sideline, and they showed Bill Belichick, who has a 3-2 Super Bowl record at this point. We also got to see Tom Brady, who's in his 6th Super Bowl start and wants to win his 4th, also having a record of 3-2. At this time, Dan Quinn is the current Seahawks defensive coordinator and helped lead Seattle to have the best overall defense in the league that year. It seems like a pretty even match heading into the game, with both teams near each other statistically in almost every category. As the first quarter started, them being an even match became evident. As every other Tom Brady-led Super Bowl before this, there was no scoring from them in the first quarter. They did look strong on one of their drives, but Tom Brady was eventually picked off in the red zone by Jeremy Lane, who would unfortunately get injured on that play, and it would negatively affect Seattle's defense for the rest of the game. Seattle didn't do any better and also scored 0 points in the first quarter. Going into the second quarter, they were tied 0-0. And I should mention that when I watched this game live, I actually missed the second half of this quarter and the first half of the third quarter. I did see Katy Perry's halftime, But in the moments I missed during the game, I was busy outside playing in a kids football league championship against my friends. It was our Super Bowl. This is a trophy, if you wanted to know. Anyways, I did rewatch this game, and I'd have to say that this is the second best quarter of the game after the fourth quarter. The Patriots would score on the first drive of the second quarter, which was a 9-play, 65-yard drive that ended with an 11-yard touchdown to Brandon LaFell, with an extra point by Steven Gostkowski with 9:51 remaining, giving the Patriots a 7-0 lead. 2 more drives would go by after this, one by each team, until Seattle would end up scoring on that third drive after. Chris Matthews would have a great 44-yard catch on an 8-play, 75-yard drive that would end with a 3-yard touchdown run by Marshawn Lynch. Stephen Hauschka would kick an extra point with 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining, and would have the score tied at 7-7. Ooh, exciting. On the very next drive, the Patriots would score another touchdown, and the drive would be 8 plays, 70 yards, which would end with a 22-yard pass to Gronk for a touchdown. Steven Gostkowski would score the extra point with 36 seconds remaining, and would give the Patriots a lead 14-7. Patriots read the play very well and saw that Gronk was getting covered by a linebacker and decided to take the chance in that coverage. It really worked out for them. Somehow, though, Seattle pulls a touchdown out of their ass with those 36 seconds left on the clock. It's a 5-play, 70-yard drive, ending with an 11-yard touchdown to Chris Matthews, with the extra point by Stephen Hauschka with 6 seconds remaining, tying the score at 14. God damn, they scored in 30 seconds. Shit. The half ended with the kickoff to the Patriots, with them ultimately running out the clock. Each team looked quite good offensively, and everyone knew we were in for a treat the rest of the game. Super Bowl 49 was only the third Super Bowl to be tied at half, which shows that a game as even as this is uncommon for the big game, and was a foreshadowing that this game was going to be even right down to the last second. It would be a unique championship game. Now, the first half was quite exciting, but wait until we talk about the second half. But first, time to briefly talk about Miss Katy Perry's unique halftime show.
Who is this guy?
My name is Walter Hartwell White.
What are you doing here?
As I mentioned earlier, I came inside from playing football with my friends to watch this halftime show. At this point in time, Katy Perry was the 5th most streamed artist in 2014, in terms of Spotify's most listened to artist in the world. Every song that she performs in this halftime show is a #1 hit, as mentioned by Gabriel Daly in the YouTube comments of this performance. Everyone knew all of these songs. There were 8 songs performed, 5 of which being Katy Perry songs, 1 being from Lenny Kravitz, and 2 from Missy Elliott. The performance starts with a Pepsi logo in the middle, and parts like the sea to display Katy Perry riding a mega lion starting to sing her song Roar. The lion then walks through the pathway for a moment until reaching its end. Katy Perry then joins the chess pieces and begins to dance with them for a moment, with the pieces behind her. Oh hell yeah, Lenny Kravitz shows the fuck up. He starts singing I Kissed a Girl and that goes hard, with Katy Perry joining him. Fire. Then the beach senior appears, and it all starts flooding back. Left Shark, an icon, was born that night, and a meme that wouldn't die for several weeks after. Along with Left Shark came a Katy outfit change that went with more of the beach theme and a performance of Teenage Dream. After the conclusion of Teenage Dream, California Girls then comes on, and the crowd sings the beginning part where it says, which I might say has a really great stage setup. Missy Elliott then shows up with her crew performing Get Your Freak On and Work It on Rainbow Road. Katy Perry joins in on the performance, and then they both perform Lose Control right afterwards. The halftime does turn into a bit of a somber ending, as fireworks slowly starts to play, and the NBC star starts to fly around with Katy Perry sitting on top of it. The performance is pretty beautiful as she floats around and fireworks begin to go off, concluding the performance. It's the first halftime performance that I witnessed in a Super Bowl, and I think this YouTube comment by Ryan Woods perfectly exemplifies my feelings. He states, "There have been a lot of great halftime shows, but this is my favorite because it lives up to the spectacle of the moment. A performer will never have as many eyes on them again as they do during their halftime show, and they've got an entire football field to work with. You need to go big here, and Katy did that in spades. Iconic entrance, multiple set and costume changes, great guests, and a good amount of live vocals. It simply had it all, and I don't think anyone else has been able to deliver like this since. Plus, we got a great meme from it. Yeah, we did. As this iconic performance faded, another one awaited." After that iconic and record-breaking halftime show concluded, the Seahawks would start with the ball, and the drive would last for 6 total plays, gaining 72 yards, and it would eventually end with a 27-yard field goal by Stephen Hauschka, thanks to a great 45-yard catch by Chris Matthews during this drive. The score is now 17-14, with 11 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. On the very next drive, the Patriots possessed the ball for 6 plays until Tom Brady would throw his second interception to Bobby Wagner, allowing Seattle to only be 40 yards off from the end zone, with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third. That would be Tom Brady's second interception of the game, and it would give Seattle a damn great opportunity. Seattle took advantage, and would score on this drive after 6 total plays for 30 yards, plus some penalty yards, and Doug Baldwin would catch the 3-yard touchdown. Stephen Hauschka would score the extra point, and would give Seattle a lead 24-14, with 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Neither team scored for the rest of the quarter, which ultimately meant that Seattle won the quarter 10-0, leaving the score at 24-14, giving Tom Brady a bit of a hole, but nothing he hasn't done before, right? Seattle had a 3-and-out on the first full drive of the quarter, punting it to the Patriots. Patriots would score a touchdown on their first full drive of the quarter, ending with a 4-yard touchdown pass to Danny Amendola after 9 plays and 61 yards. After the extra point by Gostkowski, the Patriots would pull within 3, the score now being 24-21. After that drive, Seattle would again go another 3-and-out, and would punt it to the Patriots. Patriots' next drive would be 4 minutes and 46 seconds long, going from 6 minutes and 52 seconds remaining at the start of the drive to 2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the game. The drive would conclude with a 3-yard touchdown pass to Julian Edelman on a play that didn't work earlier in the game. The drive had 11 total plays and was 80 yards. This would ultimately give the Patriots a 28-24 lead, and at this point, there wasn't much time left in the game, but Seattle scored really quickly earlier, so there wasn't much doubt that they could possibly do it again. After the Patriots kicked the ball to Seattle, the drive would start with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining, which would end up becoming one of the most iconic last 2 minutes in any NFL game of all time. Seattle would start out with a hot 31-yard completion to Marshawn Lynch. They didn't gain any yards on the next 2 plays until they completed an 11-yard pass to Ricardo Lockett on the 3rd and 10, which was huge. The clock continued to tick, and in the form of desperation, Russ would heave it deep, completing a 33-yard pass to Jermaine Kearse on a really improbable play. When watching it live, I think myself and the rest of the world besides Boston was in shock, but excited. This play would instantly be iconic, but no one knew what was coming. Jermaine would fumble the ball around until catching the ball on the ground with 1:14 remaining, leading Seattle to take their second timeout. On the play after, Marshawn would be handed the ball and would carry it for 4 yards to be stopped at the 1-yard line. They'll surely hand it to him again, right? Now, I don't know the thought process that Seattle had, but to this day, with 26 seconds remaining, I feel it makes sense to run it again with Marshawn to pretty much guarantee a victory in the Super Bowl, but they don't. Instead, Russ snaps the ball and quickly passes to Ricardo Lockett on a slant. Instead of being caught by Lockett for a game-winning touchdown, rookie cornerback out of West Alabama, Malcolm Butler, intercepted the pass to seal the game for the Patriots, snatching it from Seattle in an instant. Ultimately, it would become one of the most iconic plays not only in Super Bowl history, but NFL history. Nothing would really happen for the rest of the game, besides a short fight between the teams, causing Bruce Irvin to be the first person ejected in Super Bowl history.
Seahawk fans.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, instigator number 51 has been ejected.
After throwing a close punch at Rob Gronkowski. That would be the end of the game, giving the Patriots a victory with the final score of 28-24. At the conclusion of the game, everyone was still in shock about Seattle's decision. Chris Collinsworth sang it best, stating,
"They tried to go here, but he beats him to the punch, and I'm sorry, but I can't believe the call."
Me neither.
I cannot believe the call. You've got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. You've got a guy that's been borderline unstoppable in this part of the field. I can't believe the call.
And would also be the 4th championship by Tom Brady and head coach Bill Belichick, respectively. Tom would win MVP after completing 37 of his 50 passes for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns, with 2 interceptions, surpassing Peyton Manning's 34 set last season against Seattle in Super Bowl 48. Tom also surpassed Joe Montana's record for career touchdown passes in the Super Bowl with his new record of 13. Julian Edelman ended the game with 9 passes caught for 109 yards and a touchdown, also rushing for 7 yards and returning 3 punts for 27 yards. Shane Vereen caught 11 passes for 64 yards and rushed for 13. Russell Wilson completed 12 of his 21 passes for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns, with his one interception at the end of the game. He also rushed for 39 yards. Marshawn was the top rusher of the game though, with 102 yards and a touchdown. He also caught a pass for 31 yards. Chris Matthews, an undrafted rookie, who had not caught any passes in a regular season or postseason game until the Super Bowl, caught 4 passes for 109 yards and a touchdown. He probably could have won MVP. New England would become only the 4th team to win the Super Bowl, despite losing the turnover battle. Tom better be grateful for his defense. And winning, Tom became the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to win 4 Super Bowls. Unfortunately, Seattle would become the first defending champion since the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 32 to lose the Super Bowl the very next year. This would mark the 10th consecutive Super Bowl without a repeat winner, which is still the case almost 8 years later. In a poll conducted by the NFL.com, a couple months after the game concluded, Super Bowl 49 was decided by its readers as the greatest Super Bowl game of all time. So is it? So you might be wondering after I explain everything that happened in this game, what the conclusion is. When reading the title of this video, you were probably drawn in by the idea that Super Bowl 49 is the perfect Super Bowl. Whether you agree or not, this is my opinion. Your favorite Super Bowl may be something completely different than mine, but I just want to state how I feel about this game. Like I said earlier in the video, no matter what your favorite game is, each game is unique and different. Super Bowl 49 not only was a great game, but was one of my first truly amazing experiences with football that would impact my interest in the sport overall. As I've been editing this video, I started watching people's reactions to Malcolm Butler's interception. There was a lot of videos, as a record still to this day, largest average viewership of any live single network US television broadcast with 114.4 million viewers, also reaching 118.5 million at half, still a record, like I said. It made me realize that that moment in time was so impactful for so many other people. No matter how different everyone felt about it.
He fucking picked the fucking ball! Yes!
Since that day, a moment in football has never shocked me as hard. The Chargers missing the game-tying field goal against the 0-14 Browns is close, but the interception is just built different. There may also be a bit of nostalgia bias for this game as well. I vividly remember sitting around and watching this game with a ton of my friends, and that experience alone made everything so memorable. I might not be a Seahawks or Patriots fan, but I'll always be grateful for them for giving us this game. I have loved football ever since, and I hope all of you love football too. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to thank you for watching, and if you would interact with this channel in any way, whether that be liking, commenting, or subscribing, that would be greatly appreciated. A lot of hard work went into this, so thank you again. Please comment any ideas that you guys might have in future videos. That would be greatly appreciated. I'm Drake Berg. Have a good night.